What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Fab Freddy Fox, America's Big Brother, and we back with an episode of Saturday Night Sit Down. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Fab, and I'm here with CT's very own J-Delice. How you doing, my brother?
What's good?
Good, man. So there's a lot of people may not know, but they should know who you are, man. You're doing a lot of big things. I know you've been on Power 105, Hot 97, and you're really standing strong for CT right now, man. I appreciate that.
Thank you for recognizing that.
No, always. So, just to get started, like I said, I wanted to have you on the show because I said when I met you through my friend Mish, who's been that's my brother. I've known him for forever and a day.
Mm-hmm.
And right off the rip when we met each other, I mean, you had a really cool vibe. I mean, really down to earth and stuff like that. So, and especially now that you're doing those music thing, I was like, this person has so much to offer and just has a really good head on her shoulders and has a lot to provide for this younger generation. Who I feel like that. Now that we've become the OGs now, you know what I mean? Like we really got to do our part to guide the younger generation down the right path. And I think that's what I'm trying to do with this podcast and what I'm doing with my IG page. So like I said, I really like to get into this and I go a little heavy and stuff like that. So like I asked everybody else, man, when it comes down to being a good person or a good man, what do you think are some of the main characteristics or qualities one should have to be able to say that they're a good man?
Well, for sure, I think the role of a man is to teach the next generation, like you said, and be a role model, be a great father, that's basically it.
Nah, I mean, I could attest to that. I mean, I think one of the reasons that I really started this, and got really heavy into this because 2 years ago my son was born. I have a little girl and stuff like that, and being a father is something that I've always wanted to do. Like when I was 13 years old, my first niece was born, and I held her for the first time. And I was like, man, I need to be a dad, and I've always been like that. I watch out for all the kids that I can, and especially in the neighborhood and people that I'm around. You know what I mean? Like I want to really build that connection with them. Like just recently, we was at Mystic, and my daughter's playing, and she's playing with these other kids and stuff like that. And immediately thought to myself was like, the moment any kid or any child enters a certain vicinity, they're automatically my responsibility.
No, for sure.
I'm gonna make sure they're gonna be all right. I'm gonna take care of them. You know what I mean? Like make sure that nothing bad happens to them because I want the same thing to happen for my kid. I believe it takes a village to raise a child.
Definitely.
What I mean? So I try to do my part in that aspect. And I think that comes down to my morals and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like one of my main morals is, again, making sure that you take care of these kids. You know what I mean? Make sure that you do your best to protect anybody and everybody. We're all people. I teach my daughter that from day one, like people are so important. You love everybody. My daughter's a very, very big people person. So that's one of my main morals for myself. But for you, what do you think? What are some of your main morals that you have for yourself or that you live by?
Definitely trying to be the best man you could be. And again, try to teach the next generation because since it's a big responsibility, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it.
So bigger when the teaching stuff like that. So, and like I said, I mean, a lot of things is me trying to be that father figure. Like I tell everybody and I preach on, I was lucky enough to have my dad in my home. You know what I mean? Like he may have not been the Carl Winslow or, the Uncle Phil type of dad and stuff like that, but he really taught me a lot by example. We didn't really have those sit down heart to heart talks and stuff like that. He just kind of taught me how to be a person, and I got a lot from them, you know what I mean? Like that's one of the main things, always protecting everybody. My dad, doesn't matter who it is, like a lot of my friends, like Mish and all them, he knew that their dad wasn't around, they come home, that he's their dad, you know what I mean? Like whatever they need, he's gonna look out for them.
Right.
And that's my relationship with him. And for you, what was your relationship with your dad like?
Well, I didn't really have a relationship with my dad because he wasn't really in the picture. I mean, we always kept communication, so I respected him for that. We still do. My mom was the one who really played the role. But also I was going out, being an athlete. That's where I got the daddy side stuff. You know what I mean? Just sports, even hanging out with older kids on the block and stuff, taught me some stuff that I wouldn't get at home because my mom is obviously a female. You know what I mean? But she did teach me like the confidence side that's really big in my house. Confidence, like you got to be confident. Walk with your head high, shoulders up. Like my mom used to literally make me walk for her, and I had to walk properly. Like that's just how serious she took confidence, and that's something I ran with. And I completely understand that, because you'll see people walking down the street, head down, like you already kind of judge them in a way. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? Like pushover already. You know what I mean? If you're a confident person, head high, seems like you're taking charge of something. You know what I mean? Right. And people approach you a different way with a different respect. You know what I mean? So that's what it was in my house.
No, absolutely, man. I think that's so important. Like you said, confidence. I think, because I'll be real, man. For a majority of my life, I lacked a lot of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I let a lot of things, I let a lot of people dictate how I should or shouldn't do things, you know what I mean? Like, and that's one of the things that I don't want for my kids, like with my daughter, I try to build that confidence with her. Like when she's playing soccer and she gets frustrated and she wants to quit, I'm like, nah, just keep you at it. You can do this, you know what I mean? Like, and really teach her that, because it was a struggle, man. Like, and it hurt so much and it caused me so much depression and anxiety, not having that type of confidence that I wanted for myself.
Right.
And one of the things, like I said, and I'll bring that to you so we can bring it to the music thing, is like, at a very early age, I still do. I love singing. You know what I mean? Like I will sing all the time. I sang for my wife at our wedding and stuff like that. But in school and stuff like that, people would tease me a lot about it, and it really kind of made me step back from music.
Oh, that happens all the time. That even happened to me. Because I was an athlete first, and I didn't even bring music to the light because of the fact that I was an athlete. The alpha males. Just being men. You come out singing. I didn't see that matching, so absolutely. I kept in the back burner, and I just focus on sports and stuff. But it was a hidden talent that I had that nobody knew that I had until I was like, you know what, I'm doing this. You know what I mean? So
is it like you said again? Mom had made you walk with confidence, or really instilled that with you. What was the driving factor that helped you bring that to the forefront?
With the singing?
The singing, yeah.
Well, it happened. I always sang, you know what I mean, in the house and everything. But again, I just never, showed it publicly. Me and my boys used to just be in the crib, and I got comfortable, playing with, singing around the house, their house, you know what I mean. And another family member was like, "Yo, you should try to record. Like, you can sing." And I never seen it going that far in going to a studio, and because I didn't really know about it.
Right.
So, I tried it and recorded my first song, and it was something that, you can't explain. Like, you're like, yo, that's me. You know what I mean? And I fell in love with it ever since.
Yeah, and I wish for myself I want to say that. I mean, and I think it's important too, like you said, you had a good group of friends around you that support you in that aspect. Because the same thing with me. I mean, my friends, I remember having my Dell desktop computer, where, I'm saying, and having Napstar downloading instrumentals and stuff like that, and a little bootleg mic and stuff like that. And I recorded a couple songs myself, rapping and things like that. But again, like, I guess confident like that, I wasn't confident in my own skin as to let other people hear that and break out of my element. So I commend you with that. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you just gotta take that leap and run with it. You know what I mean?
Right. You know what I mean? It's huge, man. And I want to go back to, because like I said, a lot of this has to do with parents and the father figure. Like you said, you had your dad, wasn't really there, but you maintain that communication with him.
Yeah.
For you, how do you think that has helped or hurt you as just
helped or hurt me? Damn, that can go in many ways. Well, you definitely, as someone with no father, you definitely see what you lack in yourself. You know what I mean? With not having a father, you're like even shaving. My mom not gonna teach me that. You know what I mean? I had to learn, and razor bumps. I'm like, oh, wrong razor. I had to learn that with mistakes. You know what I mean? When a dad could have showed you that. You know what I mean? I actually shout out to Mike the barber. He fathered me in that. You know what I'm saying? So I got a little bit of different advice, and I had a lot of father figures. You know what I mean? Just learning from other people, watching. yeah, I just have to figure it out, bro.
No, and you know what? I think that's like that's good on your part too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people could have not tried to figure it out. You know what I mean? Or just stayed straight from that. You know what I mean? But that goes a lot to go with, you know, luckily having your mom the way she was. Because again, I think that's awesome, having to force you to walk with confidence. Like I think I might start doing with my own kids. You know what I mean?
Do
Because,
it.
I want them to have that, to be sure of themselves. You know what I mean? Like I know like I want my daughters and my son to be able to talk to me about certain things. I know like a lot of times growing up, your parents would be like, "Oh, this is what I say." They don't really leave open that dialogue for you to have with them.
Yeah,
And I think that hurt me in that kind of way too, not being able to speak my mind.
definitely. Well, definitely. Having a friendship with your parent is important because me and my mom is cool. Like we argue like brothers and sisters. Like we argue like brothers and sisters. So definitely a relationship because when you have a problem, you don't have to hide it. You can go right to that person. There's no hesitation. When I have a problem, I go straight to my mom, period.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? People call it mama's boy, whatever, but I mean, she's the one helping me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
everybody
call it what you want.
It's like, oh,
Call it what
Freddie,
you want.
you know, this tease me a lot, like, damn, Freddie, you so spoiled. And I'm like, listen, I'm not spoiled. I'm just very well taken care of. All right, there's a difference. All right, you know what I mean?
No, there's
like,
a big difference.
So
it's a fact.
Man, I think that's true. Like my mom didn't give me always what I wanted. She gave me what I needed and taught me certain things. You know what I mean? Like when I wanted when I wanted to get my Xbox and stuff like that, she was like, you know what, go get a job. You know what I mean? Like, and I went and got my job, earned my money, and she really forced me to grow up into that thing. And I had all the video game systems. She got me all the video game systems. But when I wanted to get that, I got a half brother, and I like calling him a half brother because there's nothing half about him. You know, what I mean? Like he's my father's kid.
Yeah.
But I love him to death. You know what I mean? Like, and my mom packed up all my things and she sent them to him. And I think that's a huge part for my mom too, which I always love her for that, because even though that's not her son, that's her son. You know what I mean? Yeah. She would always say that. She never spoke ill about his mother. I never seen, you know, when they saw each other face to face, it was nothing but respect. And I think that was a huge part in helping me also too, just understand that people are people. Things happen or whatever, but we shouldn't hold that against anybody.
Right, right.
So that was just a huge thing from my mom, Tina, too, and then having that great relationship with my mother. And I know you had said that you were in sports and stuff like that, and you learned a lot of, I guess, you know, the things on how to be a man and stuff like that.
Definitely.
When it comes to sports for you, what were some of the big lessons that you took away from that you hold yourself down?
Definitely discipline. That discipline for sure is what I think I learned the most from sports, and I see that a lot of kids don't have discipline right now. Like they whine a lot. What else do I notice? There's a lot of shit that I noticed. Like, can I curse on this?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of shit that I noticed. Even like when it comes down to it's discipline, it's a lot of stuff. These kids come to the interviews, they come in like jerseys, sweatpants, and it's like they don't have the discipline, or they don't have the, you know, somebody tell them.
Like, yeah, I think it's a huge sense of entitlement. You know what I mean? Like they just feel like we need to get this.
I think honestly, I think it's home too, because the parents is, you know, there's a lot of single family homes. The parents is working. They don't got time to really, you know, coach like that. So that's why I feel like sports is important. Like those programs, definitely put your kid in programs to learn these things, because it's crazy out here. These kids is literally running freestyle.
No, definitely. I for myself, like I always felt like one of the main reasons I kept saying to myself I wanted to get into the military. I never did, but I want to go to the military because I want discipline. You know what I mean? Like I wanted some sort of like to teach me how to do that for myself. You know what I mean? Like I was trying to. I wanted to do sports in school, but I had to work as well because the situation at home and stuff like that financially was just not allowing me to be able to go to these programs and stuff like that. But still going to work did teach me some of that responsibility and that discipline. Like I got to be here, I got to do this, I got to do certain things and stuff like that and help grow. So I mean, definitely keeping your kids active into something and trying to make sure that they have that sense of discipline or sense of responsibility, because if not, it comes down to this, you know what I mean? Like they just whine or complain and feel like they need to get something because, you know, they want to. Yeah,
and that affects their life, and it's not just jobs. It affects their life in everything. Like even if you wanted to do music, having a song done in time, it'll be late. You just don't know. You're just not on it. You know what I mean? That's how your life will be, and a lot of these kids is like that right now.
No, I was listening to this audio book. It was like The Art of Self-Discipline or something like that. And that's one of the things they said about kids too. When you see them at a younger age, like it was one of the things called like the marshmallow test that they did, right? They said, they put a bunch of marshmallows in the room, and it was like, all the kids, you can have one marshmallow now, or wait 5 minutes, and then you get 2 marshmallows.
Yeah.
And some of the kids, they couldn't wait; they just went, grabbed it,
Yeah.
ate it. Other ones, they were able to wait, and they waited, and they got their 2 marshmallows.
Yeah.
Now they tracked these kids for years on until they came into adulthood. And they saw that the kids who were able to wait those extra minutes to get that were actually a lot more successful and further along because they knew how to train. They were already trained to do those certain things. And the ones who didn't, they were just looking for that instant gratification and weren't able to succeed in a lot of things where they need to.
Right,
so I think
right.
that's
It makes sense.
Like you said, as far as discipline.
It definitely makes
like
sense. Yeah.
Now, when it comes to your music and singing like that for yourself, and I guess you can attest to that too. Maybe that's how you mentioned as far as discipline and the confidence, stuff like that. How has that helped you out in your career so far? With meeting different people, or how do you feel that those have really helped propel your success?
Ask that question one more time.
Well, when it comes to, like I said, those characteristics, as far as, like you said, discipline and confidence and stuff for you in your career of music, how does that help your career of music, or versus not having those things? How do you think that really gave you the advantage?
I would say, let me see. Just, you just, you, ask that question one more time.
So like that, when it comes to, like I said, like, to being
I want to answer it correctly.
It was Fabbing, you said the amount of discipline and the confidence and stuff that you have, or that you were taught for yourself growing up.
Yeah.
How has that helped you in your different areas of your career? Like to get to different levels or to achieve certain things. Like, how do you feel like, because I was disciplined, I was able to do X, Y, and Z?
Yeah, no, definitely discipline. My discipline helped me, record things on time, get things completely done. Some people just literally bullshit, man, and I just can't do that. And the confidence aspect, that definitely helps out a lot, because it's, it helps me not to doubt myself after I like record a song, because there are some doubts sometimes, but sometimes you just got to be like, this is it, this is me, and just let it go. So those are the few things.
That's good. Now, as far as, like, I know you got a lot of things going on with the music and stuff like that, and I know we want to play a little bit of some of your song right now. So just give us a breakdown of this track we're gonna play for you.
Oh, it's called Understand. I'm the type of artist who writes based off of real experiences. So this is just a song in dealing with someone and not being able to get through to them, and they kind of blame you, but it's really that you're not listening. So that's basically what the song is about. You're not understanding me.
Okay. What's the name of the song? Is that
Understand?
All right, let's play a little bit of that right now.
Girl, you've been real comfortable. Starting to see things that you don't at home. I thought communication was key, but you can't feel what I'm saying. No, I can't deal, can't pretend. I've been keeping it real, but you can't comprehend. What don't you understand? What don't you understand? What don't you understand? I thought talking shit out was the plan, but you keep fucking playing. What don't you understand? What don't you understand? What don't you understand? I thought talking shit out was the plan, but you keep fucking playing. I don't know, what should I do? What should I do? Maybe I should try to take a different approach. Go back to yelling and screaming. screaming, cussing and screaming. Not trying to argue with someone not listening, cause it's too hard. All this repositioning, wanna say shit that scars me, but can't understand me. Why can't you understand? Why don't you understand? Why don't you understand? Why don't you understand? I thought talking shit out was the plan, but you keep fucking playing. Why don't you understand? Why don't you understand? Why don't you understand? I thought talking shit out was the plan, but you keep fucking playing. I don't know, what should I do? What should I do? Don't know what to do.
Yeah. That's it.
Gotta give that up. We gotta give that up, man. That's
Thank you. Short and sweet.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. That is awesome. I think communication is key in a lot of things, and I think that's another reason, like I said, why I'm doing this show and stuff, and it comes down to that, like you said, being all that alpha male stuff. You know what I mean? And later on, I want to do a podcast. I think it's called about how I feel that the term man up is so toxic, because it really forces people young boys to bottle up their feelings and start living in emotional incarceration. You know what I mean? They're not able to express themselves to a certain degree. You know what I mean? Like, and I know, like I said, you know, we do have to stand strong on certain things, but we should be able to express our feelings, you know what I'm saying? And be able to, if we're sad, we're hurt, we need to cry or whatever, be able to do that. It's not going to make us any less of a man. Like you said, you know, just because you're in sports and you like singing R&B and stuff like that, that doesn't make you less of a man because you like to sing. You know what I'm saying? You're really good at it. You can express yourself. It's your art form to communicate with the world. And that should be respected no matter what it is.
Yeah, men should definitely be able to talk to somebody, but I do feel like you do need to man up.
No, I understand.
These kids are not manning up. They're whining.
No, like I said, when they're crying about stuff like that, that's the lack of, and it's not about, in that case, you need to man up. You know what I mean? Like, you can't sit there and cry and just because you didn't get your way or whatever. Right. You know what I mean? Like, if you lost something, you're hurt, you go through something that makes you sad, you should be able to express yourself, you know, but it's not about kicking and screaming to get your way. Right. You know, there's a lot of things that come with that. Definitely. And just a little back, like I said, about this experience and stuff like that for you, you know, where did this come from, or how did this song came to be for you?
Well, like I said, most of my songs are from real life situations. I was in a situation where, you know, we just didn't understand each other's back and forth, same argument over and over again. And I just had to put it on paper because it was really affecting me. And, you know, it comes to a point where it's like, how do I get this through to you? You know what I mean? You know, I mean, it's a hump that we got over, of course, but it was something that was definitely affecting me because it's like, you know, I can only scream. You know what I mean? What more can I do?
No, and that's huge. I mean, like you said, a hump that you got over, and we got to work. Everybody got to work on it. Like me and my wife, we are total opposites. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, and it takes a lot for us to try to do that, to figure out how to understand each other. Yeah. You know, but at the end of the day, like I always tell her, at the end of the day, you know, I love you. You know what I mean? I want to be with you. I'm not trying to do anything to harm you. I may not communicate or express myself in a way that comes clear to you. But I'm working on that. And we have, you know what I'm saying? I think, you know, which I love my wife so much, but I commend her so much because, you know, she goes out and got different books on, you know, on the 5 love languages and different ways so that we learn and really dope. Work on.
She trying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like putting those things together and going through these things so like how we can figure out. And that's how we learn a lot of things like the love language and stuff like that. How do we understand love?
That's what needs to happen.
Like one of the major things for her is time. You know what I mean? Like spending time with somebody. Yeah. And for me, like just because I don't spend time with you doesn't mean that I don't love you. You know what I mean? Like for me, like it's words of affirmation, you know, like I love telling you, you know, that I love you or being, you know, physical touch and stuff like that are my main ways of showing that. You know, but that was one area that we had to get over because, you know what I'm saying? I'm running around here and I'm kind of going to the gym and I'm doing these things and stuff like that. And I'm not spending the time that she needs with her. And I'm not really realizing that because to me, I'm saying like I can go whatever without like, perfect example with Mish. Like I love Mish. I go days or weeks without talking to him or whatever, but I still love him to death. You know, that doesn't mean that, and I can't use that type of relationship with my wife because it's not gonna work. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I had to learn that. And that thing that people need to really focus on that too. And like if they really love somebody and they really care.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff, you know what I mean?
patience,
Like,
taking
exactly.
time, and that's also the first question that you asked about what about
Being a good man.
being
right?
a good man. Definitely patience for sure. So that's an example. Having patience.
Patience, it goes along with, like, my wife says that too, man. I have a tremendous amount of patience that is just, and I think, but it was tough to develop that patience because for me, it was because of, again, not being as confident as I want to be. So I'm always just kind of waiting my turn to kind of speak or try to like do something, or always waiting for the right moment to take action. So it kind of developed out of necessity, you know what I mean? Like to help me cope with certain things.
So what got you over the hump to finally be like, let me be confident enough to express myself to her?
The thing that for me that's that got me over that is just two things. Like number one was seeing how much she cares about me. You know what I mean? Like, and really having someone who was always there for me. Like I think we've all been there, been through so many horrible relationships.
Yeah.
And I'll break it down to that since you want to ask a question. Like me, I met my wife in high school through Mish.
Okay.
And I don't know, there's some when I
Wait,
first
Mish put you on?
well, not like that, because I was walking to my class and Mish was talking to her, but I know it wasn't like that. You know what I mean? It wasn't about like he's just being friendly and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember and like seeing her, and it was like in the movies, man, like slow motion.
Damn, who that?
Yo, and everything in my body was like, yo, you have to talk to her. You know what I mean? Like, and Mish was there, and it was an easy, transition because he already knew her to get that conversation.
Yeah.
But we didn't start dating until years later. And I think, and I'm so happy that, because like I always say, like at that time in high school, I was not ready to be in that type of relationship. You know what I mean? Like mentally, emotionally, like.
So you saying
wasn't
confidence
there.
wasn't there?
Yeah, confidence wasn't there. And I just didn't have, like I said, I've been cheated on and played with. So my mentality for women wasn't where it needed to be that kind of respect, But I think, like I said, as the years went on, these bad relationships taught me certain things. Like on our second date, which is so funny, man. Like we went out to Kona Grill. She wanted to have some sushi and stuff, and the bill came, and she just paid it. And I was like, yeah, see, my man right there. That's what I saw. That was my expression right there. The bill came and she paid it. And see, mentally, man, I was like, thought to myself, like, does she not think I can't afford this? I already started doubting myself for some reason. Like, can I not? Like, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But like, she was like, no, I wanted to bring you to this place. It was my decision to come here. So, like, I figured I should just pay. And I got back to the crib and my boy was like, yo, how was your date? And I was like, yo, she paid. She paid. I was like, yo, she paid, bro.
That's good though. I mean, there's not too many of people, like people follow formula.
There's not.
She wasn't trying to follow. But see, that's real to me.
Exactly. And that was my first, tell to myself, like, she wants to be here for me.
She gonna have you happy
not for anything
listening
else.
to the interview.
You know
She
what I mean?
like, that's my man.
It wasn't about like money. It wasn't about that. Like, she genuinely wanted to spend time with me.
Right.
And we started like dating like the end of like November. And I did not kiss her until March 8th. Yo, we was dating. We was going on dates. Like, I did not kiss her until March 8th. We celebrate that because it was all night. Because I wanted to also too, like, to myself, like, I didn't want to rush things because I knew how that messed up other relationships. And I was like, this is somebody who I really want to be with. And I just also wanted to see where she was at too. You know what I mean? Like, you see how she was there. She would come to my house, take the train to my house when I was living in Bridgeport.
That means she liked you, because the fact that she even had patience to wait. Right. Because some girls would have been like, all right, he ain't doing it yet. Friend zone.
Right. So
that's dope.
And look, we just actually this past Monday, the 14th, we just celebrated 9 years married.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, I mean,
congratulations.
We've been together for 11 years. Thank you. Let me know a little clap there.
Yeah.
2 of those to that.
That's dope.
But yeah, and then it comes to that, like you said, like to your song to understand, you know what I mean? She really takes the time to understand me, you know what I mean? Like, and figure out what it is that I need. Like, all of this, like I said, my podcast and, doing my t-shirt thing and stuff like that, being a stay-at-home dad, like you said too, like, being there for my kids, because again, my dad was in the house, but he wasn't there the way that I wanted him to be, so he never came to me my concert choir shows, any of my acting shows, my graduations, nothing, never came. So to myself, I was like, I want to be a stay-at-home dad. I need to be there for my kids.
But see, sometimes you need things like that to happen to give you a sort of drive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, it still worked out, right?
Yeah, no, I definitely did. You know, and like I said, and I'm not taking away nothing from my dad. You know what I mean? Like I love music. You know, we have a great relationship. And now that I'm older and stuff like that, we've gotten so much better. But like I said, he wasn't that he didn't teach me things. I just had to watch and pick up on his cues. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't that type of person to do that. But because of all those things, like I said, thanks to my wife, like I said, you want to do your t-shirt thing, you know, I'll go to work, I'll do the 9 to 5 thing, stay home with the kids. You know what I'm saying? You got the patience, you got this, you want, you know what I'm saying? Stay home with the kids, what you got to do. You know, so I'm so lucky and blessed to have somebody like that. You know what I mean? Like
you are blessed.
It's about patience and understanding and stuff like that. So I think, like I said, that song really will hit home to a lot of people. You know, on how they need to really take the time to understand their mate.
Yeah.
Now, for you as well, to like doing this whole music and stuff like that. Like we talk about me, the situation with my dad not being there, giving me the drive and motivation. What's your drive and your motivation for your music career and all this stuff? Like, what's been your the fuel for your fire?
Honestly, I just like to express. I'm an artist. Like, I'm not just a singer. I draw, I paint. I just like to express, and I'm very big on observing, and I don't like speaking, as you can see. You know what I'm saying? So, I like to do more than say. So I like to watch people's situations, people's problems, and just let it out somehow, either through music or painting or anything, you know?
No, I gotta give it to you. Like I said, you are definitely multi-talented in all those things, not just doing the music thing. Because I know when I do a lot of your shirts and stuff like that, you come up with all the designs and stuff like that. You're the brains behind, you know, what I put down on the t-shirts for you.
Yeah.
And when I asked you to sit down for this interview and stuff like that, I think like an hour maybe, you know what I mean? After I asked you this, you already had the promo cut ready, you know what I'm saying, with the pickup. Like, this dude is on it, man. Like, he is on it.
Because I'm a big believer. Well, me being, you know, the underdog right now, I feel like it's very important to look at your competition and match it. A lot of people are, you know, they're not, I don't know, they treating themselves like the underdog. And like, even when it comes down to like videos, they down with shooting a little low budget. I want mine to be like, if you put a video of, I don't know, Trey Songz and mine, it kind of goes together. You know what I'm saying? And that's my thing. I want to compete. So that's my thing. I don't like the underdog look. I don't like none of that. I want to be a competitor.
No, and that's, like I said, I think one of the things that was so, for me, that inspired me about you, that I see, that I look at you like, man, this dude is really going out there. Like, I seen the video shoots that you did, the videos you did down here in downtown Stairford. Yeah. And I'm like, and it made me so proud too. Like, yo, that's where we grew up. Like, I've been on those stairs. I've been, you know what I'm saying? This dude is doing an awesome video, you know what I'm saying? And putting it out there. And getting out on all these radio stations and really, really making a name for where we grow up at. So thank you again. Let's get a little
thank you
for that. Thank you so much for all that you're doing.
You're
doing such amazing things, man. Now, when it comes to, like we said about the doubt and the haters and stuff like that, you know what I mean? For you, how do you handle that? Like, I mean, how does that, do you pay it any mind or?
To an extent. A lot of times I'm busy and I'm not even like really tuned into that. But at times, you know, you'll hear things or you'll see things, you know, and it gives you drive. And you honestly need the haters to, you know, to give you the drive. Without that, what's the competition? You want to prove people wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the best part. That's the best part of the whole thing. When you do something, you like, yeah, they thought I couldn't do it. Look, that's the best part, bro. So
absolutely, man.
You need them.
It's when I was working at Cablevision, man. I was doing my P's and Q's. I was really into that whole corporate world, man. Like, I was like, you know, I want to climb up the corporate ladder. I want to do these things and stuff like that. And I realized like a lot of favoritism. And one of the perfect examples like that too, I was sitting there, only supervisor on the floor. You know what I mean? I'm answering all these questions, taking all these calls and stuff like that or whatever. And then I had left the floor to go to the bathroom. And one of the managers came by and she was like, you know, I was looking for you for the last, like, you know, hour. Like, where were you? And I was like, I was in the bathroom for the last 20 minutes. But before that, I was, you know what I'm saying, taking things. She's like, oh, well, I came by that, so I didn't see you. I didn't see you. I couldn't find you. So So I went on a computer, I had all the timestamps, because everything is timestamped there. You know what I'm saying? All the calls I took, all my documentation. I'm saying, like, look, you can see the time where I was at working. And he's like, oh, well, you don't need to show me any proof or anything like that. You just gotta let me know. I was like, so you know you wrong. You know what I mean? Like, so
exactly.
You know what? Like, I'm cool. I'm not even gonna sweat anymore. You know what I mean? Like, because you can't. That was one of the things too where it kind of hit me, like, you can't please everybody. You know what I mean? And I think for myself, and as far as like when it comes to haters or the doubters, I started transitioning to the thing is like keeping myself busy, like you said, like really being occupied and having a vision on what I want. Because I think that's the number one key to be successful is really have a clear vision and attack that vision.
Attack it. That's,
you know what I mean?
Tunnel
like,
vision.
Don't let anybody else get in your way. You know what I mean? I started, like I said, it took me 2 years before I actually really started my podcast. So I started talking about it back in when I was cleaning pools and stuff like that. I was telling, the people I was cleaning, I was like, I'm going to do a podcast soon and stuff like that. And I bought the equipment and everything like that. But I had a little bit of doubt in myself. You know what I mean? Like, what am I going to do? And I think part of that, too, is like I really needed
Was it like the approach you had doubts with? Or what?
The doubt was like I just wanted to really... I didn't want to do a podcast. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I need to have some kind of substance or some kind of vision. Like I didn't have that vision yet or that idea. Like I knew what I was going to do. I just didn't know what I was going to do it about. And as I started seeing this, and then when my son was born and doing all those things, and I was like, it took me so long to learn how to be a man. I don't want my kid to go through that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I struggled so long to find myself.
Yeah.
And really be comfortable in my own skin and understand who I was and what I wanted to do. I know how much trauma that caused me. I mean, I've.
No, I get you 100%. Because I'm even like, because I'm Haitian and my mom is from Haiti, so I'm the first generation American, Haitian American, and they don't know half of the shit that that you're supposed to know. So a lot of things you got to figure it out. So I understand what you mean. You got to figure out.
Yeah, you did. Like that's one of the things too. Like for myself, I was born in Puerto Rico, but I was brought here like 20 days later. So I mean, I was just like raised here. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's like, oh, like I mean, the biggest thing I have is a Puerto Rican birth certificate. That's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, everything else was done here. But I seen that too, like with my parents not knowing the area, you know what I mean? Like, and me really having to learn all those stuff, like, them living paycheck to paycheck or having to, really understand finances and educate myself on that and how the world here works.
Yeah, the American, standards.
Right, and not having that. And then also, like, I was seeing how that affected me. And also, like I said, now me being a father and having so much responsibility, like and I understand that now. I understand how parents say that they just constantly look at their kids, because I do. Like even today, I was looking at my wife and I was like, hey, like 6 years ago, these people didn't exist.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like they were, and now they're here and they look to us for everything.
Right.
Like my daughter comes to me for everything, and I love it, and I want to have all the answers to her, and I want to. Again, I don't want them to suffer what I had to suffer. I know they're gonna go through different pains and stuff like that or whatever, but there's a lot of things that I can help them avoid because I went through them. And because I'm doing this podcast, I'm constantly learning from other people and getting information so I could go back and give that to them so that they can be a lot better and have a big head start. Because that's like I was talking to somebody else too, like about like generational wealth and stuff like that. Like we need to help them get a head start. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole purpose of what we're learning and growing and stuff like that. So for you, I mean, like you got your whole music thing going on and stuff like that. I know you're constantly making moves and stuff like that. So what's next for J-Delice? What's going on? What's coming out for you?
So I've been working on an album. I've been saying this for a little while, but I'm very particular, and this is gonna be my first actual project putting out. So I'm very peculiar about what I'm about to put out. And it's gonna be called Cut Boy. Obviously, you see the brand. And it's basically story of a Connecticut boy, and his trials and tribulations out here, women, just the whole, the Connecticut lifestyle, basically. That's what I'm working on right now. What else? And just not to give it fully, all the details, but we're also trying to put it out in a different way. Because obviously we don't have CDs anymore. So I wanted to give people an experience, like an Amazon package, that feel of the open it up type of feel. So we're thinking of doing like a little magazine, not a little magazine, but a magazine promoting the music and the brand and the merch together, and putting it in one magazine so people can enjoy and look at. And of course, we're gonna have other things, but we're working on that right now. All the details.
No, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. And I think that's probably why I connected so much also with.
And thank you for making our shirts, by the way.
Oh no, of course, man. You know that Fox Customs, making shirts and stuff like that for a lot of people, and that's my first venture, and
what honestly, not to cut you off, but what I like about you is you work at a good speed. I work with a lot. I have worked with a lot of people, and consistent. They're not consistent, and it's the discipline. If you say you're gonna do this at this time, it should be done at this time. Yeah, we have other things come up sometimes, but not all the time.
Yeah.
Some people drop the ball a lot when it comes to that stuff, and you haven't, done that to me. So that's why my bread's gonna go to you before anybody else. You know what I'm saying,
man? And I think that's what it comes for being a man and myself. And when a man has vision or he knows what he's gonna do, there's no stopping that.
Right.
And that took me so long. Like I said, I went through again so much depression, so much sadness. I attempted suicide here, like twice before, contemplating it here and there and stuff like that, because I just didn't have an understanding of what my purpose was. And that's what I was looking at. Like when I finally found my purpose, it made so much other things so much easier, and it helped me develop that discipline.
What's your purpose? Do you think it's having the kids, or what was the I mean, I don't want to,
No, that's a perfect thing. Like for me, man, I've always known, man, I'm here to help people. It's just that, like, I just have this intense need to help anybody any which way I can. Like, and I'm such a huge people person, so I love to connect with people. And that's just what I wasn't about the job that I did have that kind of semi-fulfilled that need. Like working at Cablevision, doing tech support and stuff like that. I was helping people, again, in a certain way, with their internet, phone, and cable and stuff like that. And that was bringing some sort of satisfaction. But it wasn't my higher purpose. My bigger situation was when I was a supervisor, really sitting down with the reps one-on-one and asking them, what's going on in their life, and giving them life advice or advice on there and helping them grow as a person. And that's what I feel my purpose is, like to really help as many people as I can.
So you didn't think you had a role, but
right.
People need to understand that although you may not think you have a role, you have a role. A conversation that you can have with somebody can change the thought of the next person. So, people need to really tune into that. That's really important. Everybody plays a role. So anybody who has like suicidal thoughts, you are important.
Like here's the thing, man. Like, and I'll again, I get personal with y'all too and close. Like a couple weeks ago, I had a huge emotional breakdown because, like I said, I'm a huge family person. It involved the three most important women in my life: my mom, my sister, and my wife. And then just a lot of things that, and the biggest reason that kind of really erupted in the way it was I take a lot of responsibility of that, because I didn't really express myself or what I was feeling or what I needed, from them. And I got to this point where I got, like I said, like again, like in my emotional distress and stuff like that, again, started having these suicidal thoughts and all these things. And it's funny, like, hey, people who, if they are in our religion, listen, I do believe in God, I believe in a higher power and everything here, and everything happens for a reason. And I had that breakdown. A couple days later, my daughter wanted to watch Raya, The Last Dragon.
Okay.
It's on Disney, and it came out a while ago, but now it's free for people to watch. So we sat down, we watched it. And just to give a little about it, was about this little girl. She has just her dad. Her dad gets turned to stone, and she's spending 6 years trying to figure out how to get her dad back.
Okay.
The movie's going on and stuff like that. And halfway through the movie, my daughter comes and she's sitting on my lap, and she turns around and she hugs me and grabs me. And I was like, yo, how stupid would it have been if I would have done something that idiotic, like to my daughter, like how much she needs me.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? That was another step to myself. Like, I'm never not gonna say what I'm feeling. Like, I can't do that anymore.
Right.
Like, I'm tired of really, like, I came across this quote somebody said, and it was like, You either say something and fuck shit up, or say nothing and fuck yourself up.
Right. But definitely you got to be sure to tell the right person, because that, you could do that and then you're telling your weakness to the wrong person and they can use it against you. So definitely choose like Mish is your man's, right? Mish is a good dude. Mish is a dude that you can talk to. You feel me? Definitely pick that one person that that can listen.
No, and that's what, like I said, going back to the purpose, is like that's what I want to be for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I know for myself, like and it's the way that I was raised or grew up and stuff like that, I can have a conversation with anybody and anyone and genuinely want to help them. You know what I mean? Like, because I want everybody to feel good.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people, like you said, they don't have anybody to be able to turn to or talk to or ask a question to without feeling any sort of negative way or feeling that person's trying to harm you in any way, like genuinely wants to help you. You know what I mean? So that's part of, like I said, like going back to think for my purpose of why I feel like I need to do what I'm doing and what my purpose is in this life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as we wrap things up here, man, I got two last questions for you.
Yeah.
All right. So first off, for yourself, man, what do you feel was the best advice you have ever received?
My old job, somebody said to me, actually, no, it was, so I was working at a security gig, and some rich dude, he lived in a crib, but he sold the crib and lived on a boat for a little while, and him and his family, his whole family, which was dope. And he said, it's not about how much money you make, it's how much money you save. So he basically saved, he was in a drought basically, and he had to do what he had to do to get out of the drought, but he had to live on a boat for a little while to finally upshift. You know what I mean? So that was a good advice that I got. And another bit of advice I got was from my mom, and I learned this works the most in music for me. Sometimes you got to lose to win. So sometimes you got to take this L to get a bigger prize later on. And that's worked for me all the time. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you how do you say, when you're looking for, honestly, I don't even know how to explain it. But that's basically it. Lose to win for a bigger prize.
Yeah, I think two of the things I said, like I think when DMX passed and was passing all this information and stuff like that, one of the things like he said, in a bad situation, you could always find, a lesson if you're willing to look for it, if you're willing to learn, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what I'm struggling actually with my daughter now, because she was playing soccer, just finished and stuff like that, and she was getting so frustrated and so emotionally distraught if she didn't score, didn't touch the ball, or this, that, or whatever. And even before coming here, we were shooting a little basketball in the house, and she had missed a shot, and she got all upset. And so I'm like, baby, it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to lose, because you're going to learn. You know what I'm saying? You just got to practice and keep up at it. You know what I mean? And the more you practice, the more you do this, the better you're going to be. If we won every single time, we wouldn't be able to appreciate that, number one. You know what I'm saying? Like
and it teaches you how to work harder when you do lose.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And not to give up and have that determination to get back on the horse or really attack what you need to attack.
Shows you what to improve. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. And then, and lastly, then, for yourself right now, talking to this younger generation, or the new kids coming up and stuff like that, what would be a piece of advice or some information you want to shed on them to help them out?
Definitely confidence is key. Like I'm telling you, it gets you far. I'm telling you, it gets you far. And I feel like, and I'm a big I advocate for confidence. Like anybody who knows me, even if we're not friends anymore, one thing after we separated is you left with a lot of confidence. I'm not gonna let you walk out here like mopey and down. And confidence give you, I don't know, it does something to you. You walk different, your vibe's different. It's a radiant type of energy. It works.
Yeah, I think for me, and a lot of things that grow when it comes to confidence and stuff, is it was really hard for me to separate being confident and being cocky.
That's
You
true.
know what I'm saying? Like I never, and that's probably one of the worst things too that I didn't really try to give myself praise or talk big about myself.
But when you're confident, you're not even worried that it's
Right.
considered cocky. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So some people, I hear that all the time. People think I'm cocky. It's not that. I'm not cocky at all. I'm just sure about who I am, what I want to do, how I'm going to do it. You see what I'm saying? You're just sure. So when you're confident, you're not even worried about being called cocky. Because that's not what I am.
Right.
So move. You know what I'm
And that's
saying?
the thing too is and that's part of the thing too, like worrying about what people are gonna think for myself, like, oh, they're gonna think I'm cocky and stuff like that. But it doesn't really matter. Like if you think that, if you really got to know me, then you really know who I'm about, who
That's
I am.
exactly what it is.
So that's kind of like a lesson too that I'm continuing to teach my kids and want to teach everybody as well too. You know what I mean? Like really kind of disassociate those two words, confident and cocky, because they're really two different things. And like you said, if you're really sure about what you're doing and people really know your true self and your true heart, stuff like that, cocky will never come into the picture. So it's all about confidence.
Right.
So
For sure.
So I appreciate that, man. So you know what? Like I thank you so much for spending this time with us on the show, man. I wish you luck in all your ventures.
Thank you for having me speak, because I don't like speaking. This
No,
is crazy. I hate speaking. That's not my thing.
No,
I'll show you, but I won't speak it. So this is training for me, I guess.
Nah, we'll do more of this, man. So I appreciate it, man. So as always, everybody, like I always say, no matter who you are, no matter what you've done, your big brother loves you. Stay blessed. I'm out.
Yeah.